What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. And as we get rolling here tonight, guys, you already know we got to talk about the giant SmackDown. We're about to lay on these Giants, of course. We have some injury updates, some news, some info. You get to hear from our players. You get to hear from our head coach.
Our offense.
And, of course, looking a little bit forward, talking about the upcoming matchup against these Giants.
Yeah, we're going to go our offense, that Texas Coast versus the little tiny D of the Giants.
With that said, guys, of course, there are some people we have to shout out, give the love and the appreciation to. Representing here as the sponsor of the week, back to back, the man Snug X. And he's not just representing as the sponsor of the week, he's been repping it as a Cash App King 12 weeks in a row.
Damn right.
Trying to maybe head for 13. We'll have to see.
We'll see. Right now, the all-time record has been set by Jason Renfro 20 weeks in a row. And when you look at the actual leaderboard right now, the top guy, Jason Renfro, dropped a $2 holler earlier today before the stream. So much love to him. $2 Cash App. Go Cowboys. Much love to Jason Renfro. But that put him in a tie. Skeptical fan.
Always staying skeptical.
You know it. By the way, he's also the gifting champion. Much love to him. And he was the gifting leader. I'll explain what that in a minute for this week, because he is tied for the gifting lead with Jason Renfro, who just dropped a pre-stream gifting to a very lucky participant.
Yes, Ice Tippler.
Tippler in the house. So much love, congrats, and appreciate Jason Renfro's drop. He also dropped a $2.46 holler in the super chat for Jason Renfro. So he's moving up this board. Skeptical fan, of course.
Yeah, he said I'm hitting all the boards.
A little bit of a lead there in the Cash App until a moment later, where the man who's the leader, Snug X, dropped a $5 holler in the super chat, and that put him in the lead. Hold on, because the Orion Files is also here in the Navy Blue crew in the membership.
Thanks to the man, Skeptical Fan. Ooh. Thank you, Skeptical Fan. Appreciate you. Much love. Thank you for sharing the love.
Yeah.
Here amongst the familia.
Best ways to help out the channel. And by the way, with that gifted membership to the Orion Files, that puts him in first place on the gifting board. 2-1 right now on Jason Renfro. He's trying to go back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. Now, I do want to say, Snug X, reiterating this, he dropped a $5 super chat. I'm sorry, a $5 Cash App drop, a Go Cowboys. You know why he's here. And he's now in the lead in the Cash App, which puts him, in line for maybe 13 weeks in a row. We'll have to see.
Lucky 13.
We know he's got back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys as the sponsor of the week. Much love to Snug X. And Retro Scotty hanging on with 10 points on that stream, boss. Just hanging on. Now, the overall board numbers, though it's swaying and changing and going up and down, the leader still, the man has been leading it all week so far. Much love to Amazing Games in the house. Much love to him. He's the top shelf guy right now, trying to break that sponsor of the week streak by Snug X, the back-to-back. Also, let me shout out Rory Strasner, back in the Navy Blue crew. Appreciate you. He jumped in on his own. So, again, shout out everybody across the board here. Can't do this without your guys' love and support. Like I said, there's super chats, there's thanks buttons available. There's jumping into memberships on your own, like Mr. Roy Strasner. There's gifting memberships that you see from Jason Renfro and Skeptical Fan. As I update the board, baby.
Yep, and you saw it from Snug X and Jason Renfro dropping the love in the Cash App.
And that's on its own thing, right? The Cash App Kingdom. How do people get a run into that? Try to challenge Snug X for that 12 weeks in a row, trying to make it 13. He's in the lead right now. There's 4 ways to jump on that side of things.
You have the Cash App money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family. You have the regular PayPal link, and of course, last but not least, the Streamlabs link shows up on your screen just like a super chat.
You know it. So again, much love to everybody in the house on that side of things. Cannot do it without your love and support.
And we have to, of course, shout out
the Nightlies, right?
The nightly shout-outs, right? If you're in the star level membership or over everything, you do get the nightly shout-outs. And, of course, extra special shout-out to the man Skeptical Fan. Have a great night. Take it easy.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, well, I know he said he has to hit the hay very early. So.
As we start up, though, don't let him leave here without hearing his shout-out as a star level member.
Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potts, Marissa Sparkle, Da Lunatic, and of course, over everything, C Bass.
Yeah, we'll be hearing from him in a couple of nights, so stay tuned for some family kind of knowledge being dropped live here while we're doing the news, info, and updates. So again, shout out to everybody out. Of course, a star level, over everything level. There's always that extra special bonus in there of being in that monthly raffle, right? And you know what it is here. Monthly, we already had this is kicking off a new month here. So we do have one coming up. You might want to get into this, guys, within somewhere in the middle of the month. Another week or so.
Yeah, membership has its perks, and if you're a star level member over everything, you're entered into that monthly jersey raffle.
Sewn stitched, Cowboy Mosh, he brings to the table.
If it's available, we got you.
Yeah, jerseys. I think we're gonna have. Again, I have to get these jerseys out. We've been so busy this week, but we do have the 2 winning jerseys from last week on the Lunatics raffle ready to roll.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this weekend to catch up with all the little, MCF housekeeping and the actual housekeeping.
Still catching up from 2 weeks ago from that Rams game as we ran into this Philly game, and now kind of sliding into this Giants game a little with the quicker streams, right? Like tonight, probably a little quicker. But baby, as we get rolling here, give me the shout outs. Who's in the house tonight? Talking Cowboy football.
Asmodeus, Memphis representing, much love. Of course, C Bass, over everything, gang. You already know. Griff181, peace to you as well. Little Dallas Cowboy, hello and hi. Of course, shout it out, Skeptical Fan, but another extra special shout out to him. Have a great night. Daniel Berry Sports, much love. Of course, Orion Files got gifted that membership. James Herr in the house, what's up? Alex saying the Giants about to be pounded by the Big D. So I hope we're into the stream long enough that we can say that. Q Ball, what's up? Hello. Bruce got the toxic juice saying giant douchebags. Yeah. Truer words have never been spoken. Fuego, bringing the fuego.
The fire.
Bringing that heat, that fire. Let me see who else is here. Of course, Jason Renfro. You know why he's here.
He's in 5th place on the overall board. He zoomed up the board real quick.
Looks like Freedom first. Did manage to sneak in here first. What's up, Freedom? Roland Rodriguez all the way from South Texas saying it could be a trap. Hey, it's funny because, our players actually addressed that situation. And, you'll hear from them directly, but it seems like they're definitely approaching this game with a different mentality than their last possible trap game. I'll leave it there. So
I hope so, because there's no more trap games to me. If they don't win this, they're just not ready. They're not built for this. The Cowboys have to win. There's no other question about that. If they don't win, trap game. If they can't wake up from from losing a close game against the Eagles, then we deserve not to make the playoffs. So we can't do this. Come back and beat the Giants. Come on, no trap game. No way.
Now, Seabass is asking, we got to stop saying e-girls. They're not on par with girls. What's a better name, y'all?
The shit. The Eagles are the big shits.
The e-gags.
E-gaggle. Oh. Well, we're done with them for now. A couple more weeks away, right? We got to worry about the little, tiny, whiny Giants. And we'll discuss that here tonight.
Seagulls.
Don't worry.
Instead of eagles, they're seagulls.
That's more like the Seattle Seahawks. It feels like the Seagulls. Yeah, I'm just saying. But listen, all the names we can have for them don't matter. They won. We can call them anything we want. We got 5 better than 1, but they beat us this year, and we got another shot in a couple weeks. Right now, we got to worry about the Giants. And any last comments before we get rolling here tonight, baby?
I'm going to say something actually very, very stupid. Is there such an animal as a sea hawk? Like, obviously, another mascot's like the Seahawks, not that. Is there a sea hawk like there's a seagull?
I think there is, but
I never stopped to think about it. I just thought it was like a made-up name thing. Yeah, Anyway, back to you. That's all.
Yeah, all right. No, that's how we'll kick it off. The Seahawk.
There were actual Dallas Cowboys. Actual Cowboys. Yes. Those exist.
Listen, there was an actual game tonight, Thursday Night Football. Yeah, most people didn't watch it. Most people don't watch the Thursday night games because they're kind of crappy. And tonight, no different. The Bears and the Panthers fighting it out for the bottom of the NFC. But Deontay Foreman's touchdown helps the Bears edge out the Panthers on Thursday Night Football, 16-13 with a big victory. They get their 3rd win of the year. And our next opponent after the Giants are the Carolina Panthers. They go to 1-8 now. Horrific, right? Primetime matchup between these teams, basically in the bottom 5 of the NFL. No real drama except for the final score. Again, it wasn't no way blow anybody out. It was boring. The Bears just made a couple more plays to get that victory and go 3-7. The Bears also boosted their chances to get the number 1 pick. You know why? Because they have Carolina's 1st round pick next year. But the Bears by beating the Panthers actually helps the Bears get the first pick because they own the Panthers pick.
Nah.
So, crazy, right? They acquired that pick along with...
a weird reverse Uno situation.
Well, it's because they traded their first pick this year. Listen, they acquired that pick next year from the Panthers because they got more from them too, guys who really, kind of the only good player they got on their team there. They got him last March for the top selection of the draft this past season. The Panthers 1-8, tied with Arizona, which plays Atlanta on Sunday for the worst record in the NFL. So there's your NFL news for the day, guys. Enjoy. Let's get right to the Cowboys, and we're going to run through. Today it might be a quickie. So these are drops of knowledge. Let us know what you think. Let us drop.
Yeah, I'll make sure to keep an eye on the chat, baby.
And, of course, drop the love. If you want to support the channel, you want to give your 2 cents, you want to make a run at these boards. Retro Scotty's got 10 points. He's hanging on barely to that stream boss. We'll see what happens. Now, the Cowboys, our Dallas Cowboys, have 12 players in the top 10 of all PFF graded position rankings through this past week 9. That is the most of any team in the NFL, which means we have analytically maybe the best players in the league as far as at the top of the boards here by position. No other team has more than 9. Again, we have 12. The only positions the Cowboys don't have a top 10 graded player, guess which positions, baby? Running back.
Makes sense.
Center, which is a little surprising, but all right.
Damn, Biadish, I guess, is having a rougher
not
year than we
year.
thought.
And safety, which is a little bit interesting because we had one of those guys sneak in there.
Yeah, but you know what? That makes sense because when you think about it, we're barely using our safeties like as safeties. Or at least in the sense of, like some of our better guys are basically just playing different roles.
Well, I think the fact is that I think it happens every year. We have 3 guys that are all very good, but none of them are like great, elite. So they all kind of do a lot of different things. It doesn't make them necessarily the best analytical player. Look, when it comes to guards, Tyler Smith is 3rd out of 80 guards out there currently. So he's 3rd ranked. Hunter Lipke is ranked 3rd in the top 10 fullbacks in the league. Out of 10 fullbacks, basically, he's 3rd.
Fullbacks great again.
Top 30% for Hunter Lipke. DeMarcus Lawrence is ranked 4th out of 107 edge rushers.
He's been having one hell of a year.
Damn right. People forget about that. Deron Bland is ranked 5th out of 114 cornerbacks.
Say less.
CeeDee Lamb is ranked 5th out of 118 receivers. Oso Digizua is ranked 5th out of 126 interior defensive tackles. Micah Parsons, of course, is ranked 6th out of 107 edge defensive players. Jake Ferguson ranked 6th out of 68 tight ends in the NFL right now. Analytically now. Tyron Smith is 8th out of 77 tackles. Dak is 9th out of 36 quarterbacks. Zach Martin 10th out of 80 guards. Marquise Bell ranked 10th out of 81 linebackers.
So
that's
again,
a lot of guys right there.
Like half that list is made up of guys that definitely should be on there in the sense of, you'd hope your quarterback's on there. You'd hope your number one receiver's on there. A few of these guys are maybe a little lower than you expected, right? Zach Martin being 10th is a little surprising, but when you consider the fact that he's actually been, banged up and
picking everyone's
surrounded
the slack
by
of Terrence,
some not great performances from Biadish and Terrence Steele both.
Yeah.
So that one makes sense, but the fact that Marquise Bell is on there, the fact that guys like Lipke is on there,
again, Lipke is a top 30% because you look there's only 10 guys he's going up against. But yeah.
Still.
In that position, it is a position. He's a top player, I guess you could say. But here's the other thing, too. Again, the only repeats we had is two guards with Zach Martin and Tyler Smith, and 2 edge rushers with DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. That's why we have 12 out of 10 categories there, right? The only ones we're missing, a top 10 player, running back, center, and safety. I thought it was interesting to start off the stream with that kind of input and information of our Cowboys.
I have to read Frame Ripper's comment. He's cracking me up. He's like, who do the Cowboys play after the Giants? I'm not even sure I'm going to watch this game.
The Carolina Panthers. That's our next opponent.
So I guess Voodoo, turn off your TV until Thanksgiving, I guess.
Listen,
right?
that's why I'm saying there is no trap game. The next 4 weeks, 3 of those 4 weeks, the next 3 weeks should be massacres. It should be 20-plus point victories at home against the Giants, at home against Washington, and honestly, close to 20 at home against Seattle. That's my opinion. And Carolina on the road, I don't care if it's on Mars. That should be a fucking 20-plus point victory for the Cowboys. So that's what I'm looking at here. Now, I know we probably won't win every game at 20. I'm just saying that's my expectation. Fall a little short of that. If we win by 18 or 17, all right, I'll take it. But if we have any close games in the next 3 weeks, if we can struggle against the Seahawks, once we pull it out at the end, I mean, we should beat the Seattle Seahawks at home. This is unacceptable. Anything less than that is unacceptable. Trap game, fuck that. The trap game already happened. It was the Arizona Cardinals week 3. So that's it. No more excuses for this team. If they keep falling down, they may have to play the Niners to start off the fucking playoff run. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way you want to really help yourself. You want to get them in the second round, and then you have that hey, we get past the Niners. There's that chance. You get to that place we've never been in 27 years, and maybe, hey, you get the Eagles. We know the Eagles in the championship game. Yeah. Just an idea of how things should go, not let's play the Niners in the wild card round. That'd be dumb. That'd be the worst thing we can set ourselves up for. And by losing to any of these 3 teams coming up, that's what we're doing. Struggling against these teams, I don't give a shit. They're an NFL team. They're good, whatever. Show what we got, because we could play the Eagles that we did, and we should be able to wipe the floor with these other teams. These 3 and Seattle, not too far down there on that list as well. The Eagles, we'll look at things at that point. I will look at things at that point in 4 weeks from now when we can judge it. If we lose 1 or 2 of these games, and who cares about that Eagle game? It don't matter.
I agree, and I'm honestly generally over trying to prove ourselves in the play. Fuck that crap, right? The only thing I want to prove is that we can get a little bit of a break and try to progress farther than we have before. That's it. At this point, any way that it happens, I will gladly take, just because, honestly, you do need a healthy sprinkling of luck when it comes to football.
But you have to create your own luck, and that is you're not going there as the 6th team or the 7th team playing the Niners in San Francisco week 1.
I don't disagree with that
disaster for the Cowboys.
All, but a great example is we created our own luck by causing 2 turnovers. Not quite so lucky considering the Eagles recovered both of them. That's what I'm trying to say.
We created the opportunity. We missed our chance for the luck.
Exactly. So that's what I mean by we need a little bit of luck, because we did create that opportunity. We didn't put ourselves in that position to get kicked around, and I'm talking about these 2 specific plays, not the whole game.
I hear you.
We all know. So moving forward, that's what we need to see. And again, even though these are, as we all can admit, pretty scrubby teams that we're looking to face up against, like we said, at the last scrubby team we faced, they handed our ass to us. So one, Cardinals, we can't let that happen, and 2, these next few games we do just have to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
No excuses. That's it. I don't want to hear no excuses. By the way, big shout out to Stanley Smith dropping a $10 holler in the Cash App. Again, like I said, Retro Scotty's got it. You got to drop it through the super chat to get Retro Scotty's 10 up there. But Stanley Smith, guess where he's at? He's in first place. He jumps over Snug X on the Cash App board. Much love to the man, SS.
Thank you, Stanley.
Stanley Smith in the house, dropping that $10 holler, dropping that Go Cowboys. Appreciate you, sir. And he is in first place. I'll have to update that board as well. He's jumping up there.
That's shout out, Chris Plumage. Enjoy your 3-day weekend.
That's always great.
I'm actually looking forward to my first Thanksgiving holiday off in basically 10 years.
The old job never wasn't.
My first ever job, ever, was retail. So, of course, you're working Black Friday, even if you're off Thanksgiving. So, but that was baby MCW and her, first little job, Oh, sorry, that cracks me up to think about. But my point is, I'm just very much looking forward to being able to just watch our Cowboys on Thanksgiving and be able to relax and enjoy and hopefully discuss all about our Victory Friday. The following
Black
day
Friday,
after.
Yes. Well, there's other games going on. Remember, NFL is doing the Black Friday football game now, starting off this year. So
I have to admit, that's a little bit weird for me.
It's fine.
But I'm more excited.
I'm
more excited for a Friday night game than I am for a Thursday night game. Thanksgiving is obviously the exception because those Thursday games are always. I feel like I don't know. It's like part of the culture at this point, right? You sit down with the little turkey leg, and you sit down and watch the Cowboys. Take some kneecaps. Anyway. We have to take a game that we were supposed to lose in order to make up for losing against the Cardinals, said Pioneer.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
I know. That's the unfortunate part about that Eagles game, too.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been the game.
So, what?
I'm waiting to see if there's any other
comments. That's it.
Okay.
Just, let's keep it rolling.
Okay, let's keep it rolling then.
I was kind of waiting for you to...
No, I thought there was a couple of comments. I wasn't sure. That's why. When I say hit them up, I just want to hear the comment, say a comment, and done with it. I don't want to dig too deep in some of these things because we're going to actually touch on these topics throughout the night here. So let's go to the next step. Again, that's just a wide range of view of the PFF. PFF is a guide. It ain't, set in stone. It's a guide. But let's talk about the reality, which is practice. By the way, I know you said the coach was speaking today. The coach didn't speak today. Very strange. No Mike McCarthy speaking today, but We did have open practice in the Ford Center, which, by the way, we've been there, a couple weeks ago. We were there. Kids were there for the first. It was great. But I think it was our first time there, too. It was great. But today, the Cowboys were there indoors and practicing. I don't know if it was the heat. I don't know if it was the rain. I don't know how the weather is in Dallas right now. But Tyron Smith is the guy we're all looking at here, and he was not practicing. But he was involved on the sideline, focusing on footwork and other movements, going through a session and like that with, again, looks like he's going to get,
right,
he's just doing some light work. On the day we have the heaviest practice, which is today, it's always the second day of the practice. That, that Wednesday's the little, some guys have days off. They had a walkthrough yesterday. Today's the Thursday practice is always the bigger practice, second day practice. So Tyron Smith, at least on the field, but not involved in the practices. Again, this is his in-season practice plan. We heard from McCarthy yesterday. He's not going to practice anymore. This is the most practicing you're going to see from him. Working some footwork stuff, doing some light work on the sideline, not in practice at all. Easy day, hard day, walk through, he'll be in. But Tyron Smith's going to be, we're seeing his management literally on the sidelines, which is great. He didn't practice, but he's not going to practice anymore during the season, it looks like. Now, what about the other guy in the injury list yesterday is Cavante Turpin. He also was not on the field and did not practice, dealing with that shoulder and rib injury that he suffered against the Eagles. Deuce Vaughn was out there working as the punt returner. And also Deuce Vaughn, Rico Dowdle, and Wanye Thomas, all three of them worked as kickoff returners. So if Turpin doesn't play, you're seeing an active Deuce Vaughn, I think. And definitely a guy who maybe kickoff returns is a guy like Rico Dowdle who's done them before. So just some options for the Cowboys. You got Wanye Thomas also as an option. I'm not crazy about Wanye on the return game, but Deuce Vaughn on punts, Rico gathers on kickoffs. That's the look if we don't have Cavante Turpin. Marquise Bell, these guys were injured, and Donovan Wilson banged up. They were on. We know Marquise Bell has a hamstring. He was limited yesterday. Donovan Wilson was working on the sideline. Pollard and Gallup also working on the sideline. Just it looks like it's more maintenance stuff there for them.
Again, I'm assuming there was a lot of just general bumps, bruises, things like that in this past game because like you kind of pointed out, I don't know if it was yesterday, the day before, McCarthy obviously kept the team, basically did a whole walkthrough thing, but he specifically mentioned the fact that the reason he did that is because at this point in the season, there's a lot of wear and tear. He wanted to give them extra breaks. So, but just hearing you kind of say that, it sounds like part of a big reason for that is to avoid those types of soft tissue injuries that come from, overuse or kind of overextending yourself a little bit. So, I don't know, it just is a little surprising to see him handle this week with such kid gloves when it comes to the practicing. Do you think it has anything to do with how weak the team it is or facing? We can afford to take it a tiny bit easier this week in a way we can't?
That's a good point. That could be the first kind of thought of this as a combination of taking it easy for this with this 3 games in 11 days coming up after the Giants, but also it could be the fact that these aren't the hardest teams. You can't overlook them, but you got to also rest your players.
You can't go crazy in practice and end up with
overdo it in
torn
practice.
ACL or some crap.
By the way, baby, the leader on the Cash App said, "I'm striking again." Stanley Smith in the house with a $15 holler right there. Now he's got himself a little bit of a lead. He's got a 20-point lead over the current dominator on the Cash App, Snug X. He's in second place. Stanley Smith in first place there. And yeah, you know what? He's also, I think, currently, if I'm not mistaken, going to be in third place on the overall board. And like I said, first place in the Cash App. Stanley Smith said, "Go Cowboys!"
Always go Cowboys. Thank you, Stanley. Appreciate
Much love.
you.
Big shout outs to Stanley Smith.
And by the way, thank you to our Dallas peeps, Cuba and Rolando Rodriguez, letting us know. Yep, it was some rain, a cold front came in, and it's going to be a chilly weekend in Dallas and Texas in general, it sounds like.
I wish I was there for that cold. I like that cold.
I don't know what the weather's going to be like this weekend, but today it was 80-something.
Sucks. This heat sucks. I hate the fucking Florida heat, guys. But it is weird, I will say, to be in Dallas and kind of see the temperature literally go from 85 degrees in a sweltering, sweaty pile of mess that we are.
To 45
and then 45. Yeah, I mean, that's insane. I like it, but it's insane. Anyways, much love for the weather report. That's the reason why the Cowboys stayed indoors, by the way. So, just updating everybody on that side of things. Now, also, this was also the first practice for our first and newest wide receiver, baby. Yes. Everyone wants to see Martavius Bryant, number 17. Like I said yesterday, he was going to get number 17. Well, if he's ever elevated for a game, he'll be in the 80s, is what I'm hearing. But he's 17, which is Brandon Aubrey's number. He's not going to be number 12, which is Roger Staubach. So, again, we did see today the first time on the field wearing number 17 with the helmet, 6'4", 200-plus pound speed burner, Martavis Bryant, who hasn't played in 5 years. Keep that in mind. On the practice squad. He took part in individual drills and in catching drills with the wide receivers and coach Robert Prince. He also is out there talking a lot to CeeDee Lamb. Probably a smart thing to do. Catch on any tips from him in this new day and age of football for him, at least 5 years later. So, again, out there talking it up with him, chopping it up, laughing. Good to see, Martavis Bryant having a good start to his NFL career. No matter what happens with the Cowboys or whatever it may be, it would be great to see him continue to grow and get better. Hey, you never know what we get of him. A red zone threat this year, that's the best we can hope for with him. I think that's what we're going to get. Now, who else is on the sidelines? Just a little side fun here. Again, CeeDee Lamb chopping it up with Martavis Bryant. And then you see CeeDee Lamb also messing around there with Micah Parsons in practice. During the timeouts, they were slap boxing. Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. And definitely Micah got the better of CeeDee Lamb. In fact, Micah retweeted these comments and said, I'm like the king of slap boxing. So, Micah, don't fuck around about anything. Any and everything. He's competitor. Slap boxing as well. CeeDee Lamb took an L. I need to
find out what Micah is not good at, and I want to challenge him in that. I'm sorry. Like can he make an omelet? Can he make an omelet?
He makes the best omelet. Who's first? I don't know. But I know this. Micah will get pissed. Even if he can't make an omelet, he'll get pissed if he can't win that contest.
Right. Listen. All I can remember is when him and Diggs did that little 7-Eleven thing, and it was like the silliest things. It was like, oh, throw this paper ball into a cup or something. Whoever does it first wins. Like, it was the silliest thing. And the fact that Draymond won, Micah looked genuinely pissed off. I still remember that. Back to you. Sorry.
Hey, by the way, when you look at the practice, as we transfer from practice, let's transfer to the injury report. The second injury report of the week gets the Giants for Week 10. Not one change from yesterday. Everyone exactly the same, which is actually good because no new injuries were reported. Even with Michael Gallup on the sideline, Pollard on the side. No, they're just taking it easy a little bit still. Taking it very easy with these GPS numbers. Here's the deal, guys. You forgot what yesterday's was? 2 guys out there in the field at full practice. Yesterday, same thing today. Tyler Biadasz with the ankle, full practice. J-Ron Curse, safety with the toe injury, full practice. Both these guys played last week. Both these guys are slated to play against the Giants. The only way they wouldn't if there's a setback this week or a little tweak or injury that happens in practice tomorrow. Hopefully that don't happen. I'm knocking on wood. Now, what about the other guys that were limited yesterday who are also limited today? You heard Marquise Bell, linebacker with the calf issue. Limited yesterday, again limited today. Same thing with Osa Odighi-Zua with the hamstring issue. Limited yesterday, limited today. So I'm still watching both these guys. Just sound like Marquise Bell is a little bit more maybe involved in stuff today. He was on the sidelines, but not as much from Osa. But I think both these guys have a chance to play. That's my general thought. Tomorrow, if they are upgraded to full, then they're going to play. If they're still limited, they'll probably be listed as questionable. And then the last 2 guys, which we know the deal here, Tyron Smith had an illness yesterday. He didn't practice today. They say he had an illness, did not practice today as well, but we saw him on the field, on the sideline, doing the footwork drills. He's good. It's just managing his practicing, which we talked about in detail yesterday. McCarthy said probably going to not practice anymore this season. Just going to go out there and dominate and play. And then the other guy, which we have been watching, probably the most serious guy missing the game, that's why we have Deuce and Rico out there, and Wanye Thomas, Kevontae Turpin, with wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner, with the shoulder injury, didn't practice. He went back in the game after the shoulder rib injury against the Eagles and tried his best, did get in the game, scored a touchdown, still nursing that injury today. Shoulder rib, no practice yesterday, no practice today, something to keep an eye on. But again, if he don't play, we got Deuce Vaughn at punts, Rico at kickoffs. That's what it's looking like as of this moment. We'll know a lot more tomorrow when we see the final game designations. You guys feel me on that? So That's the injury situation there. When you look at the Giants, and I am looking at the Giants, it had 3 guys kind of switched around here today, guys. Dexter Lawrence, who was not injury-related yesterday, didn't participate yesterday in practice today, full practice. So he's good to go. The only guy that got they got good interior guys, but they got rid of Leonard Williams, who was their main guy. He's gone. So now all these guys got to pick up the slack. They needed him full option out there. It's also Sean Harlow, former Cowboy, former Giant, then former Cowboy, back with the Giants. A personal day for him yesterday. Did not practice today, full practice. Everyone else is the same. You got full practice from Dane Belton, Justin Pugh. You got limited practice from Jashawn Corbin, running back, a hamstring. Olujari, outside linebacker with the ankle. Andrew Thomas, they're starting left tackle. They got to have him. He has a hamstring issue, limited in practice, but Micah killed him, hurt or not hurt. So I don't worry about Andrew Thomas. And then you have other guys that were not practicing, which we're going to talk about a couple of these guys today. First of all, running back Deion Jackson, concussion. He probably won't play, but he's like their fourth running back. Not really a big loss there. Adoree Jackson on defense, concussion neck issue, did not practice again today, and he's one of their starters in their secondary. Yeah, not looking good right now for him. Very important tomorrow day of practice. And then another offensive lineman, Evan Neal, who's really not even that good, but he's decent at run blocking. They need him to at least try to block for Barkley. He's got an ankle injury. They didn't practice 2 days in a row. Again, tomorrow will be the telltale on that. Another offensive lineman today, guys, was added to the list, but it was a non-injury related situation, a personal day for him. Did not participate. It was Mark Lewinsky, starting guard. So a lot of starters in the offensive line either banged up, taking veteran days. Some of them are injured, so it's going to be something to watch there. Along with Adoree Jackson, the secondary, that's the other spot to look at when it comes to the Giants and their weaknesses. Now we're going to talk today our offense versus their defense. And as we get closer and closer to this, I do want to kind of dive a lot deeper into what are we going to look at here for this battle against the Giants. Division battle, I guess. I know we got some people that spoke today. But let me start off with this when it comes to the Giants-Cowboy game. Actually, I'll start with the Cowboys. Because after the loss of the Eagles, as we know, after a team beats the Cowboys, that team goes on a losing streak. The Cardinals went 0-6 since they beat us. The Niners went 0-3 since they beat us. So, I know they have a bye week, I think, this week. But let's hope the Eagles continue.
Eagles lose in the bye week sometimes, too. So, may the Eagles lose it during the bye week as well.
The way they lose the bye week is if the Niners and the Cowboys and the Lions win. So, at least I hope the Cowboys win.
Of course.
Of that group. Let the other guys lose, and we'll take the bigger win this weekend if we can get our win and everybody else loses. But look, either way, we hope the Eagles continue the trend when they get back on. They got 4 tough games, and the 4th game being us. The next 5 weeks and a bye week, that's going to be big. If we can handle our business, they falter here and there, we have a chance to take back the mantle. Now, what about this game? Forget the Eagles, the Giant game. Remember, we started off 15.5-point favorites. That's up to 16.5 points now. Now we're favored by literally 2 touchdowns and a field goal, basically, if you take the over on this. So
you think by the time the game gets here, it's going to be like 18?
I think it'll be over 17 by the time the game gets here. And the reason...
I honestly don't doubt it.
The real reason is, the main reason is, of course, a lot of reasons. This team is in shambles, but their quarterback, Tommy DeVito. Now, I talked about him yesterday. I'm not going to talk about all of that today, but he's going to be running for his life with the Cowboy defense. Here's the thing, though, that's interesting I found about Tommy DeVito. He's living at his parents' house currently. He worked out of a makeshift practice squad locker. That's what he's doing right now as we speak.
Very interesting.
And now he's getting thrust into this game as his first start ever. Again, 10th rookie in the season this year. That's the record in the NFL as far as most rookies starting in the season so far. The 10th rookie. And he's going to start now his first game, undrafted, thrown into the mix against the Cowboy crazy-ass defense. The Cowboy defense has made 21 total sacks this year. That is only the 9th most in the NFL. The Giants' offense have allowed 49 sacks this year. That is the worst in the NFL. We talked about that yesterday. Talked about it the day before. We talk about it today and tomorrow too, because that's pretty big. We got to get sacks and pressure all day long on whoever the quarterback is for the Giants. And then the guy we talked about yesterday in great detail, Micah Parsons. Baby, just so you know, I know Micah spoke today.
He did.
But Micah Parsons faces the most double teams in the NFL. I mean, shit, I'll just show you the game.
Why is that?
I'll show you the game from the Giants earlier this year. Watch him get double teamed, still get the sack. Watch him get double teamed and cause other guys to get sacks.
Remember, that's only counting double teams, not even triple teams. Yeah, but, keep going.
He's the most double teamed player in the NFL. He gets double teamed 30% of the time, guys. That means 3 out of 10 plays, he's getting double teamed. But he is still top 2 in total pressures in the NFL. And he's top 10 in sacks. Like I said, I think he's tied for 6th. Micah also has less double-digit pass rushing snaps than the top 5 players at his same position, rushing the edge there. And I'm talking about Matt Crosby, Myles Garrett, Bosa, Watt, all these guys. Every single one of them, guys. They have basically more than double the amount of pass rushing snaps that Micah Parsons has. So, I don't know about less than, I'm sorry, not double, but I'm saying by double digits is actually the thing. Double digits, less snaps. We're talking about like 30, 40, 80 less snaps than a lot of these guys out there that are getting a lot more snaps than Micah Parsons. At the top 5 spots, at the pressuring the quarterback, sacking the quarterback, that kind of stuff. Again, let me reiterate, he faces the most double teams in the NFL. 30% of the time. Top 2, top 10, across the board in pretty much everything. Everything. What did Micah have to say, baby, this week about this battle against this Giant team that's going to be suffering and should have issues? Big issues against Micah Parsons in this defensive front.
Well, first things first, shout out Chalktown Montana 808. What's up?
Shout
out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us in the chat.
Getting money. Yep. Dallas Cowboy 92 in the house.
Yeah, take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit the bell. Yeah. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. But yeah, let's go ahead and hear what Micah had to say. And, I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit there. Micah said, quote, "Never overlook an opponent. We see where that got us this year. We're staying grounded, coming off a rough loss. This game has a lot more importance to it, and it's a divisional game." Mm-hmm. So, at least on that side of things, doesn't matter how easy we're taking it in practice. They're singing a very different tune than they were when we faced the Cardinals, where everyone was saying, "Oh, we got to respect them as a team, but we know what we're going to do out there."
I have no... they can say what they want, whether they listen to a trap game or not from Micah Parsons. I'm telling you. Take it personal. I don't care if it's the Giants. Take it personal every game because they want this is their Super Bowl every single week. Whoever we're playing is their Super Bowl. So
Micah takes it personally. He went on to say as far as how he feels.
He hadn't taken it personally against the Niners, which was upsetting.
No, true. But as far as like the first half of the season, Micah did say, quote, "I would say I'm playing pretty well right now. There are a couple plays, opportunities that I wish I would have taken advantage of early on. But I'm still continuing to learn and grow and try to do what's best for the team. I think towards the end of the year, it's going to keep heating up for me." So, and as far as how he's feeling, like physically, mentally, all the good stuff, he said, "I feel great. No injuries, healthy. Everything I'm doing off the field is contributing to that. Looking to continue that." I mean, hey, obviously keep doing whatever it is you're doing, Micah, because clearly it is working, right?
I mean, again, he is... Remember, guys, we talked about this yesterday. His numbers, Micah's numbers, heading into the fourth quarter, he's there beating and winning the pass rush win rate more than anyone in the NFL. In the fourth quarter, the players come out when it's the most needed, and that's Micah Parsons. Now, I can't help everybody else not doing it or other people overcoming this. Micah's there doing it, and he's doing it better than anyone else in the NFL at beating these pass rushes and winning the pass rush rate in the fourth quarter. He wins it all the time, and he's top 5 and all. But in the fourth quarter, he is the best. So this work is pushing him forward here and getting him better, adjusted to handle the rigors of a season.
Yep. So no, that was it from. Yeah, really, Micah did not say all that much, and we actually heard a lot more from our offensive players today.
Let's hear it. Let's go. Let's go with how about Rain Dakota Prescott?
You mean our quarterback?
Yeah. I'm going to say one thing about him, I guess, since we'll start off with Dak. And let me throw him up on the screen here, baby. I'm going to throw in some stats in between your quotes from Dak from today.
I'll allow it.
Dak, a lot of people say Dak needs to be better on third down. Really? I'm saying right now on third down, Dak Prescott this year, on third down, leads the NFL in completion percentage. That means he completes the ball the most on third down than anybody in the NFL, 75.4%. 3 out of 4 passes is a completion from Dak Prescott this year, the best in the NFL on third down. Yards per attempt, 9.7 yards per attempt on third down. That is the best in the NFL right now. And on third down, passer rating. Who's the best? Gets the best passer when you put everything in. The best passer rating, 118.7 on third down is Dak Prescott. The best quarterback in the NFL on third down in those 3 categories. Come on now. I mean, I'm just saying, you look at the way the Cowboys, roll their offense out. 40% of their total explosive plays, which are 20 yards or more, this year came in weeks 8 and 9, which tells me the Cowboys, again, that's against a team like the Rams, not good. A team like the Eagles, very good, right? We're still we're attacking down the field. That is off the bye week. I said we needed to do this to have a chance. At least we got a chance. Because coming off the bye week and getting more explosive plays, meaning deeper shots, aggressive shots, We did it against the Rams, we did it against the Eagles, and we were successful. So, or at least, you know what I'm saying, again, that is, we are having plays that are explosive against both teams of different ranges of defense and types of teams as an overall team. I got to credit Mike McCarthy. I got to credit Dak Prescott, especially by focusing. That's my thing. I know people want to hear. They want to hear get Brandon Cooks the ball. We're going to talk about Brandon Cooks. But get him the ball and get this guy the ball. Get that guy. But you want your number one guy to be the number one guy. You want him to get the guy that gets the looks. If they leave him open, you throw it to him. And Dak is also focusing on getting Lamb the ball by adjusting during that bye week. Both McCarthy and Dak. That's a big key there. Again, how do we get other guys in the mix? We got to get it. We got to still improve. Still, there's still improvement there. But what a great job by Dak and McCarthy. Again, Dak on third down, fantastic. McCarthy and Dak over the bye week, getting shit fixed with the aggressiveness of the attack. I love it. Explosive plays. I love it, baby. What did Dak say about all this?
Well, he kind of bounced off of the comments that Micah made as far as not allowing this to be a trap game. He said, "We're definitely mature enough to understand the NFL. We understand that those guys prepare and game plan. And to be honest, it's tough to beat a team twice." I don't deny that. Right? Adding in there as well, Dak said, quote, "You have to understand that they have the same tape from the first outing to try to make those corrections. That was game number 1. They've changed some things since then. They want to play in different ways. For us, it's about us continuing to grow and for us to get better. The only way that happens is for us to go out there, take care of business in the manner that we expect to."
And listen, Dak is going to do great talking stuff. It's going to be like the blah, blah, blah that he says. He's got to, listen, he missed Jake Ferguson for a touchdown to win that game. And I called it out as it was going on live. Go back and check the live stream. Check out me screaming, "What about Ferguson?" And he goes to Tolbert, and it's a dumb play. That's Dak needs can he improve anymore? This may be the tapped out we get of Dak, but can we win games with Dak? Can we win a Super Bowl with Dak? The answer is yes, we can. Is he going to be Mahomes? No fucking way. And I never thought he would be. But I think he is still a top 10 guy. I wish you can see a couple little things that would make him a top 5 guy. If he saw those little things a little bit better, he'd be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Unfortunately, he doesn't. I don't know if he ever will. We tried every scheme and every player and everybody. Yeah, there's issues you can say. It's not perfect. So what? He's got to be better. He may not be able to be better, but I know he's good enough. I know he's better than Trent Dilfer. And he won a Super Bowl. So I know he's better than Joe Flacco, and he won a Super Bowl. So I'm just saying, it's not the Dak Cowboys, guys. It's the Dallas Cowboys, and he has enough to do it. The defense got to show up for 4 quarters. Don't give me the last quarter you show up, defense. I mean, I watched that game over and over again, and the defense kept giving up everything on third down. It was disgusting. So I'm just saying, it's a team effort here. The blocking from Terrence Steele, the drops from CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, come on. Everyone, it's a team effort, a team fuckery, and a team loss. And so Dak, even though I give him credit, he's got to take some hits as well. And we gotta make sure that the offense and the team is built around his skill set, which I think McCarthy has done better than the play callers of the past, especially after he woke up after the bye week. All right, I've talked enough. What else did Dak say?
Well, he had lots of praise for CeeDee Lamb and the progress that they've made together, saying it's a build from last year. We had great numbers last year. The chemistry from there has really grown. We really got to settle in and learn each other's game and learn what we want to do and get our communication better. CD is a hell of an athlete, and he's a hungry competitor.
I agree 100%. But, the game plan is definitely working to fit CeeDee Lamb in these games.
So CeeDee Lamb obviously had his own thoughts about that kind of Dak CD connection, because that was pretty much it from our Dallas Cowboy quarterback today.
Well, I mean, you talk about CD, right?
CD basically was saying, you guys remember how he had a talk a few weeks ago with McCarthy, supposedly with Dak as well, just kind of saying, do right by me, please, can we figure this out? Play me more, right? CeeDee Lamb said, quote, "Without that conversation, we wouldn't have gotten to where we are now."
Exactly.
And I feel like the elevation in the offense is amazing. I'm grateful for that. Grateful for Mike trusting in me. Grateful for the team trusting in me. So as far as him anticipating some Micah Parsons-esque double coverage, he said, if not, I'm okay with that too. So
double coverage. I mean, double team, right? Yes. In coverage, compare Micah double team than blocking.
So and he was also kind of asked, what did you guys do differently to kind of get that Dak CD connection going so well. He said, nothing is necessarily different. There's just a lot of time that we worked on this offseason compared to any other offseason we've had. We had the full offseason together, a lot of bonding, a lot of time together, and it's showing. The trust in each other when I'm running my route, I'm seeing him and he's seeing me. And he can't beat timing. The only thing you can try is to knock it off.
I will say this, though. I'm going to be fair here. Everything's looking great, but listen, that Niner game, I'm not forgetting Dak missing CeeDee Lamb open 3 different times where Dak made bad mistakes in decision-making. Is that the play call? Is that what McCarthy wanted? Maybe. Dak's got to be able to see CeeDee Lamb wide open. That's your number one guy. And I don't think he had him set yet in this offense as the number one guy yet. It was still more like, he's still going to fit in. It wasn't like we were exploding with it. Now, after this bye week, we've been setting CeeDee Lamb up as our main guy. You have to double him and bracket him to slow him down. And if they do that, other guys need to be open for Dak in this offense. So, you talk about CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys are using CeeDee Lamb on the outside more than ever. They always put him in a slot. They're using him a lot more on the outside as an outside receiver. And that is very effective. I talked about it when he's an X receiver taking over the Gallup spot, and he is isolated. The Rams didn't know how to cover him. The Eagles had some issues when they did that. And also, when you have him on the outside as an outside receiver, whether he's the X receiver or not, when he's on the outside, listen, he's being used effectively. He's still making catches, but he's also opening up looks for guys like, for other guys on the team, whether it be Ferguson or others. It's opening the routes for other players. And you know who else is opening up routes for? Playing on the outside? For himself. He's actually being able to find ways of getting open on the outside in the McCarthy scheme that's been tweaked and more aggressive. And Dak, of course, you were talking about the connection, which is great, but it's also the fact that the play calling is right. It's getting to the best of the skill set of CeeDee Lamb, and it matches up with Dak Prescott. So I'm just trying to say right now, the way the Cowboys are using CeeDee Lamb is not just in the slot 80% of the time. He's on the outside. He's as the X receiver. He's isolated. And these things have opened up a lot of different mix-ups in coverage and opportunities for other guys and for CeeDee Lamb himself to, get 191 yards against the Eagles last week. Anyway, that's an example. I just want to throw it out there because we're talking CeeDee Lamb. Anything else on CeeDee Lamb, baby, that he said?
Yeah. So he added in there. Oh, wait, no. I read that comment. He said, I'm comfortable anywhere on the field. Outside the numbers, inside the numbers, out of the backfield, whatever the team needs. Versatility is another one of my key components to myself. I take pride in it. Line me up anywhere and tell me what I got. So
I just discussed that, just in detail, exactly. How it's more perfect effective using him out there.
Lamb.
Yeah, moving him outside, moving as an X, isolating him, slot receiver, which is the heaviest thing he gets, but that's he's number 1 in the league at slot. This is how you can maximize CeeDee Lamb and his greatness, along with getting the other guys also, getting them better looks at least for this in this offense. We're hoping they get more opportunities than everybody else. When they start to bracket and cover and double and take CeeDee Lamb out of games, we got to find somebody else open for bigger gains to replace that CeeDee Lamb coverage, right?
CeeDee Lamb added in there, be consistent. I can't preach that enough. Just continue on what we build off of.
I can't argue that for sure. So, yeah, CeeDee Lamb speaking some truth there.
The final little, in this one, just because it's a funny one, it's not as football relevant. He was asked if he considered himself a running back when he gets his hand on the ball. CeeDee Lamb was kind of quick to shut that down and say, no, I'm not a running back, but I am a guy who's very comfortable with the ball in his hands.
Again, you see a lot of jet sweeps. And of course, when he gets the catch and turns into, a yards after, he's very smooth. He knows how to skedaddle for a couple extra yards there and be effective at doing it. That's CeeDee Lamb, again, a little bit running back-like. I would not say running back. I agree with him shutting that down and not a running back.
I agree. And again, since CeeDee Lamb still has yet to be paid, the last thing he wants is to get his name associated with running back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely not.
So anyway, that was it from our man, Sedarius Lamb.
Who else spoke?
Well, we actually heard from his number 2, technically, which is Brandon Cooks. Right? Look, you can make an argument maybe Gallup or one of the other guys. But let's be honest. Brandon Cooks is supposed to be the number 2. And obviously the last few weeks, he hasn't gotten the type of production that we would have expected. But Cooks himself said it today that he's not frustrated with the lack of production.
I'm going to show you some off-season work from Brandon Cooks before he came, getting ready for the Cowboys this year. Go ahead.
He added in there, quote, being around the game long enough, you get in these moments. And when I say I'm not frustrated, the competitor in me obviously wants to continue and help, no doubt. But getting frustrated, all that does is it's going to affect your mental health, affect your mental, and go down a route you don't want to go down. So, yeah.
So he's staying focused.
And not just that, but again, basically you kind of just start spiraling and wallowing in your own misery. Like, that's not going to help you play better football, let's be real. So, he also added in there as far as, like, you know, specifically looking at his numbers, because right now he's averaging only around 9.7 yards per catch, when he used to average somewhere closer to 3.6. But
What? That's weird.
I said he has a career average of 13.6.
Right
now, he's only averaging 9.7.
So about
there's
3
a big
yards
discrepancy
difference.
there.
I thought you said he was averaging only 3 now. I'm like, wait.
No.
or last, I got confused. But yeah, it's a 3-yard basically downgrade
if that was
right
the case,
now.
we'd be jumping on our couch right now.
But he also didn't give him that many catches anymore either.
No, but he basically kind of dismissed that type of commentary, saying, I'm not getting into that. I'm not going down that path. You know, I trust Dak and I trust the offense. It's going to come and you're going to know. So he also added in there that he loves to see what CeeDee Lamb is doing. So
they watch each other. They do.
That sounds creepy. Like they're watching each other shower.
I mean, we know that CeeDee Lamb stopped his route to see in the Rams game to see Brandon Cooks catch that big long touchdown. The second touchdown of the season. Anything else from Cooks?
So yeah, he also, speaking of the fact that he likes what CeeDee Lamb is doing, he's saying at the end of the day, if that happens, you best believe 3 will be ready. However, defenses want to guard him. You know, if double teaming, if double teaming is going to be the case, I'd be ready. So he's basically saying, like, I'm ready to step up if CeeDee Lamb can't.
Well, if CeeDee Lamb's getting taken out of a game, yeah.
So, and again, for him, the final thing he kind of added in there said, I truly am just going to keep trusting it, as in the offense. That's who I am. In my mind, it's get back to work and work harder, and when it comes, it's going to come. I mean that, and I really do.
Now, I do want to say something here about Brandon Cooks. Again, he's a guy that's definitely not being targeted by Dak or even this offensive scheme that much. And we talk about his speed not being used, right? Where's that speed? Where's that deep threat? Take off the top. We don't see that. We're not using it. We're barely using Brandon Cooks like that. But here's what I'm going to say. What about other things that Brandon Cooks did well in his previous teams when he hit 1,000 yards out of 6 out of 9 years in his career? Guys, the screen game. Screens to Brandon Cooks is something that he's dominated in his career. What is Mike McCarthy doing by not getting him involved in that way? Listen to what I'm trying to say here, guys. Targets. When it comes to screens, okay? Targets. In 2020, he got 9.6. 1 out of 10 passes, I guess targets. Again, one out of 10 passes he was targeted was on a screen, a receiver screen. In 2021, 13% of the time. That was 9.6 the first time. It went up to 13% of the time he was targeted on screen plays. And last year, I think with Houston, he was targeted 9% of the time on screens. This year, in the entire season of 2023, he's been targeted one time. One time in the screen. One target. He's done that at least 10% of the time pretty much every year in the last 3 years. He has one target in a screen called play for him, a receiver screen. That's an issue, along with other things, but I just want to throw that in there as well. It's not on him. I don't know if it's on him as much as whatever McCarthy is doing in the scheme. I know you got to target CeeDee Lamb. I'm definitely down with that, but when CeeDee Lamb gets taken out of games, you got to have a connection with Brandon Cooks. He's a weapon. We're not using him right. Not sure why. I guess we got him next year too. Remember that. Stephon Gilmore is here 1 year, but Cooks is here both this year and next year. So we better start figuring out how to fucking use him because he's going to be here. I know Brandon Cooks spoke. I know that yesterday Martavius Bryant spoke a couple things here, right, in the locker room yesterday.
Yeah, we basically touched on most of that.
Today, Stephen Jones said that and some of you guys want to know what's going on with him for this Giants game. I said it's going to be a couple weeks at least before he gets on that field. Stephen Jones today spoke and said that Martavius Bryant has something the team doesn't have at receiver. The combination of size and speed. That is what intrigues Stephen Jones the most, is what he said. And he also said, quote, there is no timetable for Martavius to play, but it's a no-lose situation to have him on the practice squad to potentially be a contributor at some point in this season. End quote. So, a little insight there. We talk about receivers, talk about CD, Brandon Cooks. I know Martavius spoke yesterday, but and Stephen only said that today of any importance. That's the only important thing this guy said today. But that's, relative to Martavius Bryant, look for him for later in the year, it looks like. The last kind of like after Thanksgiving or something like this, I think, That's what I'm just saying. Just being real. I'm trying to decode what dumbass Jones.
So they're sleeping.
Yeah, I'm trying to decode what dumbass Stephen Jones is trying to say there. Anyways, baby, anybody else speak today outside on this offense before we get to this quick breakdown of the Giants and their little D against our big O?
Yeah, we actually had two more guys speak. Real quick, Terrence Steele. He just had a quick little blurb on, unfortunately, allowing 12 pressures so far this, against the Eagles specifically. But we all know he's had a pretty rough season.
28 in the season, pressures given up. That's insane.
So he was asked, hey, what's going on? He said, learn from your mistakes. No one is harder on myself than myself. It's a learning experience. And of course, he was kind of asked, like, hey, is your knee still bothering you at all? Like, how do you feel? He said, a little bit. I definitely had ups and downs. It's been good overall. Scary thought when I consider the fact that means that, again, the Joneses 100 million, 1,000% signed him without any guarantee, any knowledge, anything. It's just, oof.
Just bad management again by the Joneses, it feels like. But, I'm going to say something here about Terrence Steele. This is all our guys here, our tackles. But they're on the right side, which is also our right tackle, Terrence Steele. That's all he said today, right? Because I had something from his kind of, off-season coach. You guys know Duke Manyweather. We've talked about him multiple times, Duke Manyweather. He's, of course, done a great job in getting guys like Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith. All these guys work under him in the offseason. He actually been brought in by the Cowboys to kind of analyze some of our offensive linemen. But here's the thing, guys. Duke Manyweather said this about what's going on with Terrence Steele, who he's trained in the offseason. Quote, throwing the outside hand too often, it's getting him into trouble. Maybe we need Duke Manyweather to bring him back and get in there and talk to him or something, because this cannot continue happening, or else we're in trouble this season and maybe the rest of the time Terrence Steele is here. Edoga and Terrence Steele, especially Terrence Steele, have been liabilities in pass protection. And that's facts right there. Duke Manyweather even said it. And again, listen, I'm going to say another thing here. Number 77, Tyron Smith, no practice the rest of the year, it looks like, which is probably a good thing. But he still is playing fantastic, even with consistent injury issues. Make it tough to know when he can play. The idea of not having him practice as often is a good idea, I think, for the Cowboys to get the most out of number 77. We know Tyler Smith's a dominator. No question there. But let me finish one last thing, maybe about Terrence Steele, number 78 on the right side here, right over your face on the picture. Terrence Steele, he needs a big game. He needs to shut down that right side, and I hope he can do it on Sunday, because, again, he needs to get the bad taste out of this Eagles week, giving up 4 sacks and 12 pressures to the fucking Eagles. I mean, he single-handedly fucked us in this game in Week 9. So he has to put that in the rearview mirror, and he has to have, a dominant performance against the Giants. Okay? He has to prove it was the exception, not the rule, like it was in his rookie fucking season. Right? Right, guys? Am I wrong or right? Things don't get easier for Mr. Terrence Steele against the Giants. And we're going to talk about the Giants a little bit more in detail, but this week with the Giants in Dallas, the Giants have a talent deficiency all over their roster. Offense, secondary, all over, whatever. But not really in their pass rush. That's the one spot where they're strong. Let's say the Giants defense, and we'll talk about it a little more here tonight, but the Giants defensive line, the pass rush, is their the best quality, even with Leonard Williams gone. So he's got to really watch himself this weekend against the Giants pass rushers. Thibodeau is going to be a guy that's going to be worked on him, and he's got a lot of sacks this year. He can wreck our offensive game plan if Terrence Steele don't get his shit together. The Giants will be looking to attack him on Sunday, and they're going to try to get a repeat performance of missing 3 or 4 guys that lead to sacks. And that could be the only way the Giants could upset us, if Terrence Steele blows chunks again. Steele has no time to fucking bitch about it or cry about it or sulk. It's another unique tackle guy, another unique week for this young right tackle. And again, he is an X factor for our offense versus his defense. I'm just being honest about it, and I'm going to just repeat this one more time. I know Jihad Ward, he's not that bad. He's a former Cowboy. He's going to be out there Boogie Basham's going to be out there. They're going to have inside Dexter Lawrence and Ashawn Robinson, Raheem Nunez-Roches. These three guys inside are going to rotate in there and cause issues, stopping the run and putting inside pressure, pushing the pocket back. Kayvon Thibodeau, number 5. I'll talk about him a little later. These are the guys he has to be ready for. Terrence Steele and Dak Prescott. I'm just saying, this is what's needed. It must happen or the Cowboys are in deep shit in this game. I'll get into it in a minute. I'll get to the defensive line in a minute. I know you had a little more, I think, from somebody, didn't you? Our tight end, I think, he was out there.
A few people chimed in here, but last but not least, yes, we heard from Fergalicious. He's actually joking around with Dak, kind of trying to build that camaraderie. So basically, he says that he uses videos to loosen Dak up before they discuss plays or things he missed on the field and stuff like that, adding in their quote, "I'd like to warm him up a little bit, get him laughing, and then come at him."
Yeah.
He's obviously joking. But then he added in there that, just the little things that's building to what we want to get to. And he sees this as a little thing that will hopefully lead to a bigger thing.
I actually, this is not even about the Cowboys to me. This is just about Howard Stern. Because he uses clips of Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show. If you guys don't know what that is, check it out. Just type it in after the stream. Type in Howard Stern Beetlejuice. You'll know exactly. Those are the video clips that Jake Ferguson sends to Dak Prescott. I find it funny. I know some people might not find it funny. I find it funny. I've followed the show for 35 years, so I like Howard Stern's show and all that, but I know Beetlejuice in these clips. I'm assuming that's what Ferguson knows too. And he's sending those over, cracking Dak up. And lighten the mood there, right? Like getting things, getting things flowing there for the offense. And hey, Ferguson, my daughter was watching the replay of the game again, little Jay, and she said, "Damn, Ferguson's good." I'm telling you guys, we got an upgrade from Schultz. All right, Schultz's ceiling been hit. Ferguson's just starting. So, anyways, I'm sorry. First, we got Hannibal King 47 dropping that 5 on it.
Woo.
Much love to Hannibal in the house. What do you say?
You know what he had to say? At this point, I'm willing to watch a tight end lined up right beside Steele on passing downs.
Boom. Like Ferguson, like, McEwen, like Schoonmaker. Yeah. Why didn't we do that last week, McCarthy? That's a question that should be asked, but, what I believe is the same thing Hannibal King is saying. We need if you see Tyron Smith having issues against this Giants defensive line, you gotta give him some fucking help. Preferably tight end help there. Blocking, chipping. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I agree there with Hannibal King.
So, and yes, thank you again, Hannibal King. Again, we can't really trade LVE right now, Raul. Who the heck is going to trade for a guy who's currently hurt and probably won't return for the rest of the year?
The way Stephen Jones talked about him the other day, it's like, we don't really expect LVE to be back anytime soon. It doesn't mean he's not going to be back at all. Just
I know,
not soon.
and I'm not trying to say LVE is garbage. I'm just saying, that's like you digging through your trash to find something to eat. I don't know. Weird. I know. Random comment. And then Fuego, take it easy. Appreciate you. Much love. So huge shout out to everybody here chilling, still hanging with us. Of course, take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Oh, but let's go ahead and, like you said, baby, jump on over to see the... do you have
anything else to speak on when it comes to Ferguson?
Yeah, Ferguson said...
Fergalicious, as you say.
A little bit more. He said, I think it started to be more of urgency as far as, his Dak connection. He said, if we mess something up in practice or even a walkthrough, just going back and being like, okay, what were we thinking on? What were we doing? What was I thinking? Let's get on some mutual ground here and figure out, will we see that again? Maybe when it is full speed in practice, wherever it may be, let's get it cleaned up so when it does come to game time, there's no questions.
Listen, I will say this again. Ferguson, my daughter said it, everyone's noticing who's he, where is he coming? He's able to make the catches. He's getting the first downs, athletic enough. I like it. I think he is an improvement over Schultz because of his age difference. I say age difference, but at this point of his career, Schultz in his second year had one catch. Ferguson's dominating that right now. So I just think that Ferguson has a higher upside, and I like that we made that move. The thing is, which is what Mr. Mark Hovsepian, when he's here a lot of the time, says, why do we have to get Schoonmaker with the second pick in the draft, with our second round pick, when we got Ferguson? And I agree. shooting ourselves in the foot after we had a brand new foot. I don't know.
So, like I said, Ferguson also added in there, saying that after the game, I texted him, "I'm with you, big dog. Let's get after it." The big dog being the big Rain Dakota Prescott. Just throwing that out there in case anybody had any in-between situation question marks there. Schottenheimer, actually kind of wrapped up the Ferguson situation here because he spoke very, very quickly. But he said
that was a couple days ago he spoke, I think.
About Ferguson?
Yeah.
Saying that he's funny, he's passionate.
That was a couple days ago when he was in the coordinator meeting. But I think we kind of missed that, specifically on Ferguson. Yeah,
he said he's funny, he's passionate about what he's doing, and he loves it. He is truly his biggest critic. But to see him from the start of the offseason to where he's at now, I wouldn't say surprises me. He's playing at an elite level. Again, I think he's just scratching the surface. I think there's a me to you that Dak and he have developed, like CD and Dak have. Oh, it's really cool to see.
Yeah,
So he's basically saying that, the way that Ferguson, or the way that Dak and CD Lamb have their own kind of little tells or their own little signals and stuff, that Dak has that same type of connection with Ferguson.
When it comes to the silliness and the way he's kind of goofy and funny and all that stuff, you see that, right? He was drinking at the Stars game, the Dallas Stars game with everybody, right? But offensive lineman, he was one of the guys chugging with Hendershot. You look at the way he is with Hendershot. They're truly like brothers on the field. They are connected. They're always making jokes. You can see that Ferguson is that kind of guy. And listen, right now, the only guy he's got to be connected with and joking with and in tune with is Dak Prescott. He's doing that as he's winning. He's winning, and you're seeing it on the field every week. His ability or skill set, or he's a 4th round pick, does it matter? Who cares? My point is, when it comes to Ferguson, when he gets that ball thrown to him, he shows up. He also has a good pass blocker. Ferguson is that next tight end, at least for the next couple of years, and he should be the starter over Schoonmaker. I don't care what Schoonmaker was drafted. Schoonmaker is more of a blocking tight end. We drafted with a second round pick. But Ferguson's our number 1 tight end as an overall guy on this team. So I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do against these linebackers of the Giants and safeties of the Giants. Going to try to slow him down. It's going to be tough. We know how to use our tight ends against every Giants defense we've ever faced, I think. It feels like. At least when Dak Prescott was the quarterback here. So any quick comments in the chat before we break down these Giants when we're going up against them, our offense versus their defense?
I mean, I already told you that was the last.
No, any comments in the chat is what I said.
Oh, of course. Let me see. Raul Castro, much love, saying our defense played way better without LVE. I disagree. We've managed to surpass the LVE injury, but we were definitely playing, I think, a little bit better when he was there. And even if, let's say, the play wasn't necessarily there, the depth certainly was at that time. Now, we're, one little feather away from having basically nobody there in the middle.
I think, the depth is obviously an important reason of trying to have LVE there, but the thing about LVE is that he was solid, but he already hit his ceiling too. And so to be a guy like Marquise Bell and Damone Clark, they are just getting started, and they're playing as well, if not better in some ways, than LVE. LVE is a good all-around linebacker. You want to have him on there I don't mind him See, I like the way he was used in his last 2 years by Quinn, not overusing him. You rotate him in there, get him in some snaps, get those running play snaps, get him in there, stick him in the fucking mix, and let him throw his head in the mix. I'm just saying, that's the better way of using him, and you make him survive the whole year. Now, when you put him as a starter, you got the LVE issues come up and the injuries come up, and then that's why I think the issue is it slows him down and makes him worse, and he's just reached his ceiling. But again, if you rotate him in there, he can still have some value. That's what I think the best way of explaining the LVE situation in my opinion on that. But anyways, any other things maybe before we finish this one up here? And make sure you guys get your last thoughts or comments, the drops of knowledge, the drops of love from above.
Justin D, you have a great night
much
as well.
love. And I also want to shout out sponsor of the week, Cash App King, Snug X.
Woo.
Much love to him. Retro Scotty, 5 on it. He's got 5 on that stream, boss. That's up for the taking. I'm just asking this from the chat. The Cowboy fans, don't let any enemy territory guys here. Don't let any other team guys take over that damn stream. That stream, boss. Retro, we'll be passing it on to somebody. Who is it? I don't know yet. Much love, though, Retro. He also got Skeptical Fan, currently the gifting champion. So those are the 4 champions of the week. Skeptical Fan is leading 2-1 over Jason Renfro, trying to back-to-back it. just like Snug X did, our sponsor of the week. Skeptical fans trying to back-to-back it as a gifting champion. He's up 2-1 over Jason Renfro. When it comes to the, again, Cash App board, like I said, the guy who's dominating it the last 12 weeks, no question, it's the man Snug X. And he had the lead coming into tonight for 13 in a row, possibly. And then we had a guy jump him. Boom. Stanley Smith took over. He's the current leader in the Cash App. He's currently third place on the overall board. He's coming trying to do some damage up there. And in the meantime, he's third. Marco Seppi second, but in first place. For that, trying to get that sponsor of the week. We'll crown somebody on Sunday. Amazing Games currently leading the way. West Coast flavor, repping that star over everything. So much love to him. Who else in the house here before I get to my a couple shout-outs, and then I'm going to finish up with the breakdown of breaking down these tiny D Giants.
MH said, Ferguson's a great replacement for Schultz so far.
Agreed.
Pay him and steal his spot.
Agreed. He's a solid guy who has a lot of upside still to go, and he's just starting off. He looks great for the position. He's a blocker, receiver, all in one. I'm good. I'm good with him going forward.
So, let me see here. Little Dallas Cowboy, much love. Appreciate you. By the way, the man, the lunatic, dropping those emojis. You already know. He said always, fuck Philly.
Always fuck Philly and fuck the Giants and go Cowboys. Much love to the man, the lunatic, in the house. Asmodeus, Little Dallas Cowboy, everybody here. MH, go Cowboys. Now, let me wrap it up with this, because we do have to talk about our Cowboy offense. We talk about them all night here, right? Now it's time to finish up talking about this Giants Little D defense. Now, you see a couple of the guys I highlighted. They were in the thumbnail, but here, the Giants defense, we got to see how we're going to attack this team. And, they have a really good run-stopping ability there. Our run isn't that great, so it's going to be through the air attacking these mofos. And let me break it down, guys. The Giants traded away one of their starting defensive tackles a couple weeks ago, last week, Leonard Williams. He went to the Seattle Seahawks. We'll see him in about a month. Leonard Williams represented the best, I'm not saying the only one, but the true inside threat for the Giants, which had to be accounted for. Now he leaves the Giants, and he's the guy that gave him 22 pressures this season. That was third most on the team before he got traded. The Giants' defensive line was already producing the second least amount of pressure in the league, and they took away their third best pressure producer. Traded him for draft picks, right? So, pass rush-wise, they already depleted themselves inside by Leonard Williams getting traded to the Seahawks. The Giants, when it comes to the run defense, which is where they seem to always have kind of showed up, they rank 8th worst in total rushing yards allowed. They have allowed 13 rushing touchdowns this year. So, with Leonard Williams already gone, pass rush depleted, running game 8th worst, the run defense 8th worst in the NFL this year. So, yeah, do you know that they're 8th worst, maybe? That's like 24th, I think, in the league right now. Stopping the run. So, Tony Pollard? I know they're worse than maybe in the past game, but come on. Let's get some Pollard running in here, too,
yeah,
right?
Especially because I know earlier in the stream you kind of pointed out that the only positions we didn't have like a top 10 guy ranked in, technically running back was one of those positions. Yep. So, not saying that they're doing a crappy job, just saying that I would like to see them, do better and maybe at least inch their way onto a list like that.
And if not, even if we're not, I still want to see the running game getting more utilized. We're going to need it a little bit more. I don't have to see it that much more. I don't want to see it controlling the game. I just want to see the running game just being maybe not even used more. Just be more effective. With the runs we get, let's make some more. Let's not go for 2 yards every time. So, look, the point is this. Stopping the run, they're the 8th worst. They have allowed 13 touchdowns on the ground, the Giants. That's third most in the NFL. So they're horrible stopping the run. And they still have, they're inside. They still have Dexter Lawrence, who's still in there. He's having a good season. He leads the team in pressures, so he's still got a pressure guy inside. And Dexter Lawrence. And the Giants' defensive lineman, he leads them, all defensive linemen, in tackles as well. So he's stopping. Dexter Lawrence is going to help still get pressure on the quarterback. He's going to help stop the run. But again, guys, now he's by himself. That's the big decrease there, right? I will say Dexter Lawrence, he rarely misses tackles. He's been vital for them when they needed stops this year and no one else is there. He's the only guy left. So he's doing a great job for them in place of basically not having the help that you had from Leonard Williams before he got traded to the Seattle Seahawks. So the main guy I want to look at on this defensive line, pass rush and pressure, is number 5. on your screen. Right there it is. Yeah, his hand is up. That's Kayvon Thibodeau. Last year was a rookie in his second year now. He leads the Giants in sacks this year. He's also, I think, got more sacks than Micah Parsons. So, he hit a stride the last 3 weeks. He's accumulated 5 sacks in the last 3 weeks. I think against the Jets, he had like 3 sacks in that one game against the Jets. And again, he was a key factor at keeping that game close. He was the guy that was wrecking the backfield for the Jets, right? So, Azeez Ojulari, again, he will be missing this time around, looks like, with the Cowboy. Again, for this Cowboy game. Ojulari is out for the game, I think. He's on IR, if I'm not mistaken. And, yeah, he's not even on the lineup right now, guys. So, Ojulari has to miss, I think this is his 4th game he's going to be missing, which is the minimum he has to take when being on the IR. So, he's out for this game as far as a pass rusher is concerned. So, who's left? Like I said earlier, guys, Jihad Ward, former Cowboy, is going to be playing in that spot. And I think maybe Terrell Basham, Boogie Basham, will be out there. Number 45 is Basham. Number 55 is Jihad Ward. That's the other side of the pass rush to coincide with Kayvon Thibodeau. So Thibodeau is strong. The Terrence Steele, he got to produce against Thibodeau. But everybody else should be handleable. Everyone. Inside, outside, all around. Who's that? Brown. Anyways. Little scenario for you guys. Anyways, that's kind of my look there from the defensive line of the Giants. Let's run it back now to the linebackers. They got Bobby Okereke, formerly of the Colts. They got Micah McFadden, not Parsons. All right, number 41. He's Okereke. He's 58. These are their 2 linebackers. They also have Isaiah Simmons, formerly of the Cardinals, kind of trying to get him in the mix. He hasn't done much, not just with the Cardinals, but with them. Carter Coughlin, another one of their linebackers. So when you look at these guys, what do they bring? Behind Dexter Lawrence right now in our defensive talent production, their starting linebacker, Bobby Okereke, number 58, leading the team in tackles and forced fumbles. He also has 80 total tackles this year. That is the 8th most in the NFL. So basically what I'm trying to say, Okereke, he's your run stopper. He's the guy that actually causes fumbles as well. So leading the team in tackles and forced fumbles, 8th best tackler in the NFL, you can say. And again, he does, I do think that he's stranded at times out there. So he might make plays, but he's not going to be able to make every single play. When you look at him, guys, he could be worse with the way the Giants are not been really holding up. But the Giants are holding up against the run better than, I know they're, like I said, they're 8th worst. They'd be worst if it wasn't for Okereke. Let me put it that way, all right? He has 9 tackles for loss. That is 3rd amongst all linebackers in the NFL, and only 1 less than Micah Parsons. So he's solid stopping the run, Okereke, number 58. Keep an eye on him. And then next to him is Micah McFadden. Again, a guy who, I would say is a big downgrade, number 41, Micah McFadden, when you compare him to Okereke, who's, I'd say average as a linebacker. So when you look at what McFadden does, he has 54 tackles this year so far. Second most for the Giants. He leads the team in missed tackles. So Micah McFadden is the guy you want to attack, running the ball to his side, to his hole there. So he's also he missed tackles. He struggled when going into coverage. So you want to know Okereke, number 58. Let's try to run away from him. I don't know about attacking him in the air. Not really worried. But the guy you want to attack in the air and run at is number 41, Micah McFadden. Just showing you some future keys to victory in this game. And you throw in there Isaiah Simmons, who again is slowly on the rise. Again, it's been for 3 years and slowly on the rise. But he had a strong outing in Week 5. Since then, he only played 74 snaps in the last 4 weeks. And he's made only 7 tackles. So very little usage from Isaiah Simmons, after being traded from the Cardinals to the Giants. And then when you look at the production and play strength that you get from number 58, Bobby Okereke, the Giants, that's their most solid play. That's maybe the best pure linebacker in this field this game, even better than our 2 linebackers. I'm saying, I'm not talking about Micah. I'm talking about even on the 4 linebackers on the actual field, he may be their best guy, the Okereke. And again,
the linebackers who are linebackering.
Yeah, and again, unfortunately for him, at least starters, even though he's really good, the Giants' defense overall is still allowing one of the, again, 8th worst run defense. They're allowing the worst rates in the league against the run, allowing 127 rushing yards per game, which is the 8th worst, like I said, in the NFL. So, we can, we have our issues stopping the run, and much better now than we had in the past. But man, we're not anything close to what the Giants are looking like stopping the run. And then the secondary, you're seeing number 25. He's a guy I'm going to highlight here, who's probably their most healthiest, best player they have, and he's a rookie. Let me start with their actual best guy out there in coverage is Adoree Jackson from the Giants. All right, Adoree Jackson. I think was he the guy that fell on Dak's ankle? I always get confused there.
It does sound kind of familiar, so maybe
he's number 22 out there, and you got him out there. The biggest thing I just talked about him earlier today was he's banged up and injured. And again, when you look at him,
another one,
yeah, Adoree Jackson, and the other side he has Deonte Banks, the rookie, who we did play week 1 there. So those are the starting cornerbacks. All right, Adoree Jackson, he's allowed 5 receptions for 84 yards the last time we played him. I'm not worried about Adoree Jackson. Again, he leads the team with the worst passer rating allowed of 111.6. That is horrible. So attack him. Good things happen when you attack Adoree Jackson. And that's their best coverage guy right now. This week he's going to have to deal with when CeeDee Lamb is on the outside after that 191 yard game against the Eagles. That's who Adoree Jackson is going to be seeing all game long on the outside. So again, extremely productive game for CeeDee Lamb. It's going to continue against these Giants. Deonte Banks is a guy I'd watch in this game, number 25. He played quietly in week 1 against the Cowboys. Being a rookie, it makes sense. He's getting used to the NFL, and he has had a sharp increase of workload, but doesn't mean he's gotten better yet. He's getting up to speed, but he's not there yet. And the problem with him, guys, is that he has a tendency to be handsy. Gets him in trouble. He's been penalized 6 times so far in pass interference this year. You want to attack number 25. Both guys are weak. Adoree Jackson and, of course, Deonte Banks, but you get penalties with Deonte Banks as well. So he's allowing a completion rate, Deonte Banks, rookie, 56% of the time he allows a completion. And he has a passer rating allowed of 81.7. Not great, but for a rookie, pretty good. I'm going to give him that. He's pretty good there for a rookie. The teams, though, right now, when you look at the best defensive back as a whole, Xavier McKinney, who's maybe your most solid guy on the defensive backfield for them right now. Xavier McKinney, who we burned multiple times, I think, again, in our first game against them. I know he's number 29 on that field. I think that when you look at him out there, what he's solid about as a safety is that he's made 45 tackles this year. But he's also allowing a completion rate of 60% against them. Again, formerly of Alabama, cannot do it all on his own. One of the few bright spots probably for the Giants when they went up against us in week 1. But again, when it comes to their secondary guys, the defensive backs, they have to face our offense, CeeDee Lamb and the rest of this offense. That right now we rank 12th in passing yards per game, 3rd most if you look at the last 3 weeks, which is with the wake up from the bye week from McCarthy. So really, the last 3 weeks we're the 3rd best offense when it comes to passing yardage. We're completing 70% of our passes thrown, which is the 3rd most in the NFL. We're 9th in the league in passing touchdowns. All right, throwing the ball. We're also 3rd in the league in getting third down conversions to first downs. The Giants' defensive backs have a lot of work to do this week. That's not against CeeDee Lamb only. You got Brandon Cooks. You got even Gallup in the mix, Tolbert and Ferguson, and maybe even running back out the backfield. So a lot of issues for the Giants to deal with this week. It ain't just one guy they got to stop. It's all the guys. So, again, their defensive backs in the passing game, weaknesses, weak against the run. We should be able to do whatever we want to these Giants from our offense. The Texas coach should be burning these motherfuckers all game long. Again, their defensive line gets very little pressure. So the defensive backs don't get a lot of help with getting the quarterback rushed or getting him thrown into bad plays, and because there's no real pressure coming from the front other than Kayvon Thibodeau, number 5. So, again, keep an eye on the practice report for Adoree Jackson. We've been following him all week. He has not practiced. Right now he's in concussion protocol after last week's game with a neck and concussion issue. If Adoree Jackson is out, things get horrific for them. I'm just saying, Nick McLeod, number 44, jumps in. Trey Hawkins, who started against us, I think, week 1, he was getting burned left and right, a rookie. drafted, I think, in the 5th or 6th round, number 37. He had to jump in there. Darnay Holmes is their nickel cornerback backup. But, I haven't talked about their actual starting nickel cornerback who's going to see a lot of number 88. And I think he actually hurt us, last year when he was at the slot there a little bit. But as a nickel cornerback, Cordell Flott, who's going to be out there going in the slot and seeing a lot of CeeDee Lamb. So I think what I'm trying to say is it doesn't really matter what the Giants do. Someone's going to be open against this defensive backfield. There should not be much pressure, and we should pick this defensive backfield apart of the Giants. There's no question, no diggity, and no doubt in my mind. And again, if they lose Adoree Jackson, just a lesser, now they have even more issues going on back there in their backfield. I'm going to finish it with one last thing because we got to talk about special teams, baby. As we finish with the defense here, let me finish with special teams. All right? And we know our guys. We know
special team special.
Yeah, the special team special. We got Brandon Aubrey, number 17, of course. And, of course, Brian Anger, the holder, the punter. And, of course, the returner, which we talked about already, Kevontae Turpin. Again, if he's missing this game, it's going to be Deuce Vaughn on punts, I guess, and kickoffs will be Rico Dowdle. So, special teams for the Giants. Again, starting kicker, Graham Gano, happening to their offense and defense, injuries going down, right? He's on injured reserve. So now they have Randy Bullock kicking for them. Gano is having surgery on his knee, which is ending his season. So Randy Bullock played the last 2 years with the Tennessee Titans, where he averaged 84% field goal accuracy. He played one game for the Giants back in 2016, but has not made a field goal for them yet. So, again, we'll see how their kicking goes. We know our kicking, we're set in stone on a 19 kick streak in field goals for Brandon Aubrey. Every kick he makes on from now on, it's a new record.
Let's keep going.
It's a new record, right? He's at 19 is the record. Next time, 20 is the record if he gets it. 20, 21, 22, keeps getting them. No misses. No misses for Aubrey. The record extends for consecutive kicks to start a career in the NFL. Then, punter, we got Brian Anger. They have Jamie Gillen. He punts for the Giants. The last time he played the Cowboys, he had to come out 3 times to punt. No punter in the NFL has had more punt attempts than the Giants punter Gillen in this season. And his average yards per punt is only a 46.6 yards, which ranks 22nd among all punters in the NFL. And, of course, for the return game, Giants are trying to do a little bit of, maybe cowboy work there, re-signing wide receiver. His name is Gunnar Olszewski. Yeah, he's back on the team. He was on their team. I think he was on the team when we were playing them in week 1, then was cut, now returns to the team, serving as their leading punt returner. He's made 9 punt returns since rejoining the Giants a couple weeks ago, and he's averaging 9.9 yards per return. So, what I'm trying to say for them, they really got problems with special teams with injuries, with lack of production, whether it's punter, returner, unknown, Randy Bullock, kicker, he's all right, but Graham Gano, they paid him the big money. He's on IR right now. Looks like he's going to end his year as he has surgery on his knee. Will he ever be the same even? So that's the situation on special teams. And as we roll out of here, I want to make sure we check the chat, shout out everybody that needs to be shouted out, and get your thoughts on special teams, I guess you could say, but also mainly our offense versus their defense. Baby, any thoughts in the chat in there about this before we wrap it up?
Thank you, Get Money, by the way, saying show the love, hit the like.
Yep.
You guys already know, yes, take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily, and hop in the Discord link for that's in the description box down below. MH said, time to use Deuce on returns and see if he can hack it.
Yeah, again, if there's no Kevontae Turpin, there's going to be Deuce Vaughn on punt returns. It looks like it. I agree. I want to see more Deuce out there.
Thomas Garrett saying, I can smell a return on Saturday. Sunday. Sunday.
It might not be Turpin, though.
Hey, you know what? Then the more the merrier, right? Wes Robinson, what's up? Yeah, I think you meant to say go Cowboys.
Yeah, it's always go Cowboys.
Let me see here. By the way, a few people kind of ended up coming back because they realized, oh, wait a minute. I have a 3-day weekend. So, thank you guys for spending your time with us. Snuggex, much love to you. Let me just go ahead and do the final.
What's the holiday? Is it Veterans Day? Yeah, okay, that's right.
So, Aztec Aguilar 04, much love. We have Getting Money in the house, of course. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett. I did shout out Stick Aguilar before. Yeah. MH, much love. Wes Robinson, another shout out to you. Fuego, bringing the heat.
Yeah, let's go.
We have Sledhead 5-0. Little Dallas Cowboy. Snug X, of course.
Snug, you know why. Much love, Snug. As we said earlier, the Cash App
came. Amanda Lunatic.
12 straight weeks, domination.
Going back, Raul Castro. Hannibal King. Justin D in the place to be. Getting Money. Truck to Montana 808. Even you, Jack Dong. Even you. Let me see. Getting Money. Raul Castro. Lil Dallas. Trying to go up. Yeah, this is as far back as at least it's letting me go now. So, Asmodeus, much love to you as well. So, guys, again, make sure to give your final good nights. And, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. But, of course, we have to shout out the people making MCF happen here, like the man, your sponsor of the week, 2 weeks in a row.
Back to back.
Snug X.
Back to back like our 90s Cowboys. Extra special love to Mr. Snug on that side. And baby, extra, 12 times love for Snug on the Cash App. 12 weeks in a row, 3 months of domination. He dropped some love tonight as well. Was in the lead for a little bit. Once again, going for 13. Snug X, much love to him representing the boards here, as well as Retro Scotty with 5. On that stream, boss, hanging on. Big shout outs to our gifting champion with 12 last week, Skeptical Fan. And he's currently leading by 1 this week over Jason Renfro. Skeptical Fan trying to go back to back like Snug did last week. And our 90s Cowboys did. And on the overall board, still Amazing Games is amazingly in first place over the big ballers up there like Mark Hosepian. And yes, our current leader on the Cash App, Stanley Smith, who's third on that board. Yes, Amazing Games is first, Mark is second, but Stanley Smith is third and first on the Cash App, trying to grab that kingdom, that record from Snug X. Much love, Snug. Much love, Retro. Everyone in the house, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and baby, let everybody know why we do this each and every night here at My Cowboys Family.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, here on MCF, we always rep. You see it. That star over everything. And here on YouTube for 6+ years doing this thing here on My Cowboys Family. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond. Thank you for dropping, all of you guys in the house, in there, in the chat. Thank you for dropping your knowledge tonight. Can't do this without your input. Also, truly appreciate your drops of love from above, your support here. It goes a big time way here. So appreciate you guys on any way you drop the love, the support. Appreciate it. And also, as we clock out and drop out here on this channel for tonight on this stream, we'll be back tomorrow. Talk about some keys to victories, some must-win keys to victory, I think, against these Giants. As we should make this a debacle for them. We got to do it. We can't talk about it. We got to see it. So we'll talk about that tomorrow and more. But baby, before we can officially clock out for the night, before we can officially drop out of here for the night, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been officially dropped by the wife. Guys, thank you for spending your night with us here for a little hour plus stream here, hour and a half. Guys, thank you. Take care. Keep your comments down below. Let us know what you think about what we said tonight. And hey, we always like to hear not just your comments in the live chat, but your comments posted. Give us your 2 cents on our Big D, our Cowboys. Here, talked about the Texas Coast offense today. Dak, CD, the offensive line, Tyron Smith's management. We talked about it all. And, of course, touched on the Giants defense and their weapons, question mark. We talked about it all here and more, as we always do here. My Cowboys family. Appreciate you all once again here on MCF. Always remember it's about that navy blue. That silver, too. That star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here, My Cowboys family. Much love to everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Don't forget to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell for this stream, this channel. Keep it growing. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for another one, and stay safe. Much love to all. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.